Good evening, all. Today we are going to discuss a particular chart which is not common in our academic task one. It is one of the rare pieces. Now we can see that a bar graph, where we can see the way which the money is spent on different forms of entertainment over a 5-year period. So we can see the specific chart here. There we can say that world entertainment markets, the title, fund money is the thing. Here we have the scale written marked here. This is the scale here. You can see the scale from 0 to 250 and over. So it's the scale of 50, 50, 50, 50. The scale goes like that. So we have a 250 mark here, a 200 mark here, a 150 mark here, a 100 mark here, a 50 mark here, based on this thing. So this is $100 billion because it is $1 billion. This is 200 billion. So this is also 100 billion. So this is more than that. So around 20. So 100 plus 20, you can say $120 billion here for publishing. And we can say around 30 here for music, and the rest for cinema and video. That's also again around 25 to some points there. So this is something which the way which we calculate. This is the scale here. So it goes up to 250 and over. We do have television, so it is 100. Here it is 50, so you can calculate it is 50. Here it is almost 100, it's around $90. Here it is around 5 to 7% maybe. And approximate calculations we can make based on the scale which is given. So we cannot say that an exact marking, because there is no exact marking here. So I can go ahead with an approximate marking here. So that's all we can say. Now we have to see the trends here because it's a moving chart. 1995, 2000. So you can see the spending increased for all the countries, all the regions. We have the spending increase. The spending, the entertainment market, it grew in almost all the countries, almost all the regions. Of the growth, you can see the growth of spending in the US was exceptional in case of these two continents, that is Europe and Asia. The whole regions, the whole two regions, the spending was less than the US. The money which the Americans spend on entertainment purposes in 1995 and 2000 was far higher than the money which was spent by the Asians and the Europeans in both years. This is what we can see here. Now, what we can see further is that the most money was spent on publishing. So you can see here, in general, we can see that the most money was spent on publishing, and the second highest was spent on television. So these things, the other three areas, we have less spending proportions. So this is what the thing. So what we can do is that we can group this thing to 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph, we go with the most spending, that is the publishing. The second paragraph, we go with the television. The third paragraph, we go with the cinema, video, and music. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, because it's a complex task and it is not possible to include all the data. All the figures are not, it's difficult for us to include all the figures here in this particular chart. So I recommend you to go with the significant things, as far as we are supposed to go ahead with the significant things, significant data here. Let's go ahead and see the introduction here. A comparison on the way which money was spent on various types of entertainment activities in the USA when compared to Europe and Asia in 1995 and 2000 is depicted in the given chart. So you can say the data of USA is compared to Asia and Europe in 1995 and 2000. This is what you can say in the introduction. So a complete picture is given in the introduction. The way which money was spent on various types of entertainment activities in the USA. The way which money was spent. Okay, now I can say overall, it's clear that money which Americans spent on entertainment was far higher than the two regions in both years. You can say the money which Americans spent on entertainment was far higher. You can see it's far higher. It's not comparable. So 97 to 184, 131 to 257, almost double. So this is what you can say, far higher than the other two regions. In both the years, it was far higher. So this is the total story. The complete picture is there. So a clear-cut overview is framed, and we can say a clear-cut introduction is given. Now I have framed the first particular paragraph and deals with the publishing. The second particular paragraph deals with the spending on TV, and the third particular paragraph, it deals with spending on music, video, and cinema. So this is based on the priority. So you can see the most amount is spent on publishing. You can say that in all the three regions. In 2000, out of this particular proportion of money, Americans spend nearly 120 billion in publishing, 30 billion more than in 1995. They spend a gross this. So you can see this thing here. The total money spent by the Americans on entertainment in both the years are given there. Number one, this is in 2000 and this is in 1995. Out of this, the publications, so money which Americans spend on publications in 2000 is 120 billion, and a comparison is given here, 30 billion more than in 1995. So we can say it's to 120 minus 30, it is around $90 billion. You can say there is a clear-cut comparison here between the figures and between these figures. So the comparison of figures are well connected. So we have a bold connection between the figures, and it is presented as per the priority. So the most spending is on publishing. So that's why we have presented that in the first position, in the first paragraph, and both the years are there. The total figures are there, and the amount which is spent on publications are clearly compared in both years. Now we can say in the next area, that is the spending on TV. So when 25 to 30 billion dollars, I can see the figures, 25 to 30 billion dollars was spent in Asia and Europe for this purpose, while in the USA this was nearly 50 billion. In 1995 this was the status, and you can say the spending proportion climbed in all regions. Oh, it is understood that even if I don't say 2000, it is understood that climbing happened, because we do have only 2 years there. One is 1995 and next is 2000. So climbed in the sense, it is already, we have said the comparison in the previous paragraph, In the introduction also, we have presented the years. We do have only 2 years there. So it is already understood there is no need to present that particular year there repeatedly. So I have not repeated this thing, but I have seen some exceptional growth. That is the amount which the Americans spend on watching TV. It grew from $50 billion to 100 billion. It hit 100 billion mark. This is a significant figure. So I highlighted the figure. There's the most significant figure there. Now, you can see that from 50 to 100. Everywhere we can see a significant increase in the case of TV. Now we can see that the insignificant figures you can see there in Asia, Europe, and the United States in case of video, cinema, and music. This is what we have presented in the third paragraph. Music, video, and cinema were the areas where the spending was done comparatively less in these three regions, comparatively less than publishing and TV. Okay, now we can say in both years at an average of 20 to 50, at an average of 20 to 50 billion dollars. You can say it is around 20 billion dollars here, around 30 billion dollars here, 40 here, around 40 here, here it's around 50 billion dollars. So you can see the minimum range is around 20 billion dollars and the maximum range is about 50 billion dollars. So I have set the range between these two things here. So it is there, the total figures. Of this, music was the most preferred, while cinema was the least preferred. So this of this, music was the most preferred and cinema was the least preferred. So we have, if we present the figures further, my word count will go higher and higher, and it's not recommended to write insignificant data and figures. So we have presented the significant figures. The story is highlighted there. We have given a clear-cut overview and a clear-cut introduction here. And that's the end of this particular task one.